Okay, we are going to give a class on stringing the cable on the 10 gearbox under a clipper cleaner. These can be on 298Ds, 29Ds, 67Ds, 68s. They were on many cleaners, and we've already strung the back side. It's the 2-directional gearbox. It changes directions. Right now we're in the neutral position. We're going to hand spin it, and we're going to show you now how that works. Very important also to use the correct brass shear pin. This is so if you mistime it up in the brush racks that are in the shoe, it doesn't tear up the cleaner, and you use this shears, this brass pin will shear, and then the gearbox will keep going, but this will just set here. Okay, you're in the neutral position, ready to change directions. We're doing the top cable in our sides of the mill. We're going to do the top so it will string over the top, but you look for, there's a hole in each groove, and one side will have a smooth machined edge. I don't know if you can see it in there, and the other side will be sharp. So you don't want your cable pulling on the sharp side. You want your cable coming in the smooth side like this. And then it goes down in here to your cable clamp. There's a groove there for it to slide in. I have my cable clamped. I'm in the correct hole on the machined smooth side. I now pull the other side together, and I have a helper that turns. We're in the neutral position. He turns it and starts rolling it up. Till he comes to the neutral position. Okay, it's now neutral, ready to change direction. Sometimes this takes 2 people. You want to put some vice grips on your end of your cable and pull it tight, and have someone else tighten your screw. You want these fairly firm because they're going to stretch. So we have our cable installed from this side. We already done this side. We turned it and it rolled up. So now we're ready to change position. Now we can hook this in on the machine side. See, this side is got a sharp edge, so you don't want to be over there. On the machine side, heading back out. Now you always do this by hand so you don't tear your cleaner up. Now we will go through it again by hand. One side will wrap up, the other side will unwrap. Then we're going to do the bottom cables the same way. Now your bottom cable on your right angle pulleys here will be at the bottom of your pulley, where your top ones are at the top. So now we look for that hole, which is probably right here, and then we hook it in, and then we wrap it, and then we hook the other one in. So this one will be on the front of the pulley, and that one will be on the back. Okay, we've got our cable unwrapped in the machine side under here and clamped. This has all been done on the back side too, it's just we can't take a video there. Now we're ready to turn it and wrap it. Okay, now we're wrapping it till it goes to the neutral position. It's pulling it out of my hand here. Now we're in the neutral position. Now we find our next hole, which will be right over here on the back groove. Okay, we have the cable installed. Now we're going to go through it one more time, turning the gearbox by hand. Make sure everything operates properly. Now we're pulling the cable all through our mill. The next thing will be to position and time the brushes. Back to the neutral position. Now, two important things down here. You can replace your seals behind here on the shafts. You can replace your cable. Do not use clothesline. We see this all the time. Clothesline is the worst thing to use in this application. Get with us or call Clipper and buy the heavy-duty red coated cable. Do not use clothesline. That is the worst thing you can do. Okay, we have installed our cable and we know that that's all working correctly and it's moving the brushes back and forth. Now I've already done 3 of the brushes. We're going to talk about brush positioning, brush timing, and we're also going to talk about the rollers of the brush racks. So when I talk about brush positioning, what I'm talking about is the brush under the screen. There's a space on them, and this is a cross member. So when you raise the brush, you are not smashing your bristles or dragging them out. See, this one here has been positioned. That means sliding back and forth in your brush rack. This is your brush rack. So when you get those positioned, you put screws on this side in these slots so they don't move when you move your screens in and out. That's brush positioning. The other thing I want to mention, in the Super 298, 29D, Super X, is the correct way the screens are inserted. Your top 2 screens are inserted with the spreader blank up to the top. Some people don't realize this, have the spreader blank down here, and then eat the bristles off of their brush. This is the screen, this is the spreader blank. This is what I'm talking about. On the 1 and 2 screen, this goes in first. On 3 and 4, this will be down by your belly when you push it in. This is 3 and 4. Spreader blank will be right here, because when the grain comes off of this top screen, number 2, it lands on number 3 and heads back down. Spreader blank spreads it so that it gets across the screen. Okay, this is what I mean by the spreader blank in screen number 1 going in first on 1 and 2. And also, when you go to slide your screens in, push them in easy, because if you go running and slam them into the back, you break off your screen stops. Just gently push them in. When you get down to the last little bit here, you just slow down and gently seat it up there, and then you put your pistol grip on. Like that. Don't slam them when you get to the last part. Okay, when timing your brushes, we use a drill with a special adapter to turn it or you turn it by hand. Do not toggle the machine or just turn it on. That will cause you to tear up your seed cleaner. Now, timing the brushes is very simple, and don't be intimidated by it. You got your cable clamp here that clamps tight to the cable. You can take this out to remove your brush to clean it if you're switching varieties. Then you put that back in. That's what times it. Over here against the wall, you want to be just right so you're not pulling through the side of your cleaner. You're going to have a piece of wood in here on your frame, so you're going to come up against your frame, and then you're going to brush is going to travel over to here, just like this one. When you have a gearbox, they usually travel opposite of each other. When you have the number 80 heavy-duty roller chain drive, they all travel together. Turn it by hand or with a drill and check your timing. If you notice, I'm closer to the wall of the seed cleaner, or the rocker, than I was on the left side when it traveled. So what I want to do is loosen my cable clamp, move the brush over about a finger's width, try to divide the distance so that you get a nice clean screen every time the brush is going back and forth. Okay, I've moved it over. Now we're running it again. We'll check our distance. Perfectly divided. Changes direction. Now we are ready to load the cleaner. Okay, we're getting ready to load the cleaner. And what I mean by that is put the screens in it. This gentleman wants to clean rye. We're putting a 1/16 by 1/2. This is what I mean in number 4 slot, spreader blank right at your stomach when you go to slide it in. You get down to this last position, you want to be gentle. You don't just go running it in there. You just push it in till it seats itself real nice. And then you don't break off your screen stops, which are way down there and create a lot of work if you have to replace them. This is what I mean when I say your brush or screen stop. Right here. This piece of metal gets broke off, and then your screen has nothing to rest against when the machine is running. This is your screen stop. That's why you just gently push them in the last 6 inches when you're installing screens. Okay, now the seed cleaner is loaded with the screens. We have some things removed. There would be a tray in here, but we did it for the video. So you can see, got all the pistol grips holding the screens in place. Once your screens are in, you come around to your handle that raises it. And that's when you want to take the screen out. And there's when you want to be at your brush, is up against the screen. So now you're ready to test run your mill with everything loaded. All the brushes are timed and the brush is positioned correctly.